Hey, it's me again. I just wanted to show you guys how I use these HoopTech embroidery hoops. This is just one of the ways that I use them. I do use them for other things also. And this is what it looks like right here. It comes with two different size hoops, at least this one that I bought. There's a 5x7, which is the bigger one, and it also has a smaller 4x4. And the 5x7, and that also has it comes with two different attachments that you can hoop two different items, or they're just made differently, and they hold your the embroidery a little bit different. I use this one with the flat back, and they're kind of rough, so it holds your stuff really well. Or then there's this one, and it has an indentation here, and I just like the flat one better, so that's the one I use mostly. So then this is all you have to do with the HoopTech. You slide your base for your design, whichever size you want, and then you tighten up the bolt or the screw here, and then you load these. There are little indentions, little holes here that fit into the outcroppings on the arms of this, and you kind of have to just pull them apart, and then they fit just like that. Okay, now I'll show you how I hoop all of this. I use medium weight tearaway backing. I load the backing, and then I load the webbing, and then once you have both of those inside in between the bottom and the top hoop, you raise the bar on the right, which clamps the hoop. It's pretty sturdy, so watch your fingers. Then you can manipulate it by lifting up with one hand and manipulating the webbing or gross grain ribbon to get it tight and lined up with the markings. This one has a lot of markings on it, so I really like using this one as far as making sure that things are straight. And I also use a solvay for the top of all of this, so once it goes to your machine, don't forget to put the solvay on top. And it takes a minute just to get it all manipulated just fine. And then once you do that, you're ready for the machine. I almost forgot. I also put wash away solvay on the top before I embroider it, so that my stitches will not sink down into the webbing. Okay, one thing you need to know about these hoops is just to make sure that your machine is turned on and the bars have already stopped moving before you load this this hoop, because it is pretty beefy, and if you don't do that, the machine's going to come out and it's going to bang into the back of your machine, and you'll bend this bar or some of these little needle plates. Then you just very carefully, you load it from the back to avoid the back of your machine, and then you just slide the clamps, and you slide the clamps in like you would any other embroidery hoop. And then one more time, I just make sure that everything is nice and straight and tight. And then I'm going to, I need to start this over. Then I always do I like to check my placement just to make sure that I'm not going to hit the hoop. As you can tell, I'm a little sketchy because I have hit the hoop and bent my needles. And now that I'm in New Hampshire, I really don't have a maintenance guy yet. I haven't been able to find one, so if I screw up my machine, I don't really know what I'll do then. And then last but not least, you're going to put a piece of solvay on the top. And then it's ready to embroider. I do like to run the machine on this around like 740 stitches a minute. Otherwise it gets a little bit jumpy. Okay, it just finished up. So the next thing we have to do is just very carefully, once again, remove the hoop, making sure you don't knock into the back of your machine. And then we will take it over here and I'll show you how I finish it. Okay, so the next thing we need to do is just take it out of this hoop Here's the clamp. If you can see right here, you just open this up, pull your webbing and your backing out. Then I'm just going to move this out of the way. I just rip off the backing, pretty easy to do, and then I'll take off the solvay, which let me show you some quick little tricks with the solvay. You spray it with water, and then you can use the solvay that you pulled off, and it works really well. To pull the sticky off. Once it gets a little bit damp, it gets very sticky, and it will remove the solvay really well. And if you don't, and the other trick I saw is you can also wet a tennis ball, which I have covered with solvay over. I just have left over, and I dampen it and made a nice little ball. And then you can roll it. I think I saw this from the John Deere site. John Deere Embroidery, and then you just roll it like that and get all the solvay off. And once it gets wet enough and damp, once it gets really sticky, and it gets all of the solvay out from all the nooks and crannies, which works really well because that stuff gets on my nerves. And then you just need to clip the strings. I have these little scissors. I don't know, can you see them? They're kind of have spring loaded, and I really like them, using them to clip my strings on my embroidery. It works really well. And then I just do this, clip the strings, and then as you can see, this is the finished product, and it works really well. So that's how I do my webbing. And at the end, I'll show you in the comment section or somewhere along with this video, I'm going to put the links that I have to the links to the HoopTechs, and also where I get my webbing from.